change can only be realized, watch this, and sustained when we ask God. You ever had those New Year's resolutions that you start on but you don't ever finish them? So commit your work. One translation say your ways to the Lord, right? So shall your thoughts be established and your plans will succeed. That's big. I think that's like Proverbs 16 and 3. Commit your ways to the Lord. So shall your plans, your thoughts be established, and your plans will succeed. See, the reason why we don't succeed a lot of times is because we try to do them in our own strength, right? We try to do them in our own strength, and God says no. 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 See, the thing is, the enemy will give you small wins too. You understand that, right? He'll give you small wins to keep you going in a certain direction, making you think it's all about you. Does that make sense? He gave Adam and Eve a win, right, for a small moment. They thought he was going to deliver a win. God says, okay, you can have everything in this garden, but this one thing you can't have. So the enemy comes with this false information, right? With his, they had a glimpse of a win. The enemy comes along, okay, really? Eve, you tripping. Did he really tell you that? Did God really say that? Yeah, he did. He told us that we can have anything else, but if we eat off this tree, we're going to die. Did he really say that? No, here's what he meant. He meant if you eat this, that you're going to be like him, and you're going to be smarter, and you're going to be wiser. Really? Really? Okay, I'll eat. And then she even got the dumb dude to. I'm telling you, when I see Adam when I get to heaven, we're going to have a problem. You know what I mean? I'm just playing. What was I talking about? So win. So they thought they had a win until God showed up and said, what have you done? What did you do? Doesn't it happen a lot of times like that for us? So the only time that real change can be sustained is when you submit your thoughts and your ways and your plans, your works to the Lord. Does that make sense? You can start a lot of stuff, but you won't finish it without God. You won't finish it, but because he gives you what it takes. The Bible says in Philippians that we can do all things through Christ who what? So who gives us the strength? Some translation says the ability, the know-how to get the job done. I like to say at a high level. It's only in God that we can do that. Assuming that's what we want. If you don't want this, it's fine. You can just put some cotton in your ears and you don't have to listen to this. So here's the real deal. Here's the real danger when we ask ourselves. I promise you, you're like, when is he going to get to the Bible? I'm getting to the Bible, I promise you. Here's the real danger when we ask ourselves and we don't ask God. If we, some of us have found out that it's not a good idea. That we're not as smart as we think we are sometimes, right? Have you ever tried to just figure out things by yourself and get yourself in a lot of trouble? And you realize, man, I wasn't as smart as I thought I was. I thought I had it figured out, but it just all fell apart on me. Am I the only one that has that story? And I don't think so. I think it just happens because sometimes we get a little excited. But the first thing, it sends a message to God. I'm talking about when you ask you what you need to do at Roms, when you ask you what you need to do. When you ask you what you need to do, here's the most dangerous thing it does. It sends a message to God, number one, that you don't need his wisdom. That you've got it all figured out and that you don't need God. Dress it up however we want because we do that too. But I'm telling you, that's what it says. When you try to accomplish anything without consulting him first, I understand that you can pray and you can walk in wisdom and you can make decisions because God's given you that wisdom. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when we just go do stuff and we haven't prayed about it and God hadn't spoken yay or nay on the thing and you just go do it. It sends a message to God, right? That you don't need his wisdom. Something really, really significant happened in the Bible when King Saul decided that he didn't need to listen to God. God says, I have taken the kingdom, it says snatched in the NIV, I believe. I've snatched the kingdom away from you, and I've given it to a man who's after my own heart. Here's why, because he'll do exactly what I tell him to do. So when you don't do exactly what God tells you to do, God really looks at that and goes, well, guess you don't need me. You do know that sometimes that could cause the lines of communication between you and God to get a little muffled, right? And to get a little... Am I good with saying that? Am I good with saying that? When God continues to show you the right thing to do and you continue to not do the right thing, God will stop talking to you and telling you what, because he says you're not listening anyway. There's a bunch of examples in the Bible that prove that if you don't believe that. The first thing it does, it sends a message to God that you don't need his wisdom. How many of you would agree that's very dangerous? That's very dangerous. The second thing, it can sometimes lead to selfish desires being realized. Does that make sense? See, sometimes when we ask God for things in 2014, sometimes it has nothing to do with anyone else except for us. Does that make sense? I don't know if God ever does anything for us just for the benefit of us to not be shared with others. Does that make sense? I probably wasn't prepared to say that statement, but I don't know. Think through that with me. I don't think God just does anything for us just for us to be like, okay, this is just me. This is just me. I think when God gives us things, if he's giving you a gift, he's giving you a gift to serve with that gift. Does that make sense? If he gives you the gift of prophecy, if he gives you the gift to sing, right, the gift to serve, whatever is the gift of wisdom, he gives you that for his purpose in the earth. And there's more than just us in the earth. So sometimes it can lead to selfish desires being realized.